Once, by the shimmering waters of the Sea of Galilee, Jesus sat and spoke words that would echo through generations. His voice drifted over the waves, carried by the wind, as crowds pressed in. Men, women, fishermen, farmers, seekers, skeptics, all hungry for truth. On that day, he revealed the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, mysteries hidden since the foundations of the world, and he chose to reveal them through parables, earthly stories carrying heavenly secrets. This is the story from the book of Matthew chapter 13. Today we journey back in time, step into the crowd, sit by the shore, and hear the parables of Jesus as they were first spoken. And then we uncover their meaning, what Jesus really meant when he said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." Now Jesus had walked down to the shore early that morning. As always, the crowds found him. They pushed closer, closer, until he stepped into a fishing boat, pushed off a little from the land, and sat down, using the water as his amplifier. The sun climbed, a breeze blew, and Jesus began to speak. He did not start with miracles. He did not start with commandments. He started with a story. Jesus began with saying, "A sower went out to sow." The crowd leaned in. He told them of a farmer scattering seeds. Some seeds fell along the path. Birds swooped down and devoured them. Some fell on rocky ground. They sprang up fast but wilted in the heat because they had no root. Some fell among thorns. The thorns grew up and choked the plants. But some fell on good soil and produced an abundant harvest, 30, 60, even 100-fold. Then Jesus ended with, "Whoever has ears, let him hear." The disciples looked confused. The Pharisees looked offended. The crowd looked amazed. But Jesus had spoken in parables for a reason. Later, the disciples came to him privately and asked, "Why do you speak to them in parables?" Jesus replied that the mysteries of the kingdom had been given to those who followed him. Not to the hardened, not to the disinterested, not to those who refused to believe. He explained that some people saw but would not perceive, some heard but refused to understand, and some hearts had grown dull, no longer able to receive truth. But to those who sought him, to those hungry for understanding, he would reveal secrets. Jesus then unveiled the meaning. The seed was the word of God, and the soil was the heart. He also explained that the path meant hard hearts, where the enemy stole the word before it could take root. The rocky ground was shallow faith that withered under pressure. The thorny ground was the hearts crowded by worries, riches, and worldly desires. And the good soil was those who heard, understood, and bore fruit. The crowd had heard a farming story, but the disciples had heard a spiritual map of the human heart. Then Jesus told the crowd another story. A farmer sowed good seed in his field, but at night, an enemy crept in and scattered weeds among the wheat, tares that looked nearly identical when young. As the plants grew, the servants noticed the weeds and asked, "Should we pull them up?" The farmer said, "No, let them grow together until the harvest. Then the reapers will separate them." Wheat gathered into barns, tares burned with fire. Later, Jesus explained the meaning. The field was the world. The good seed were children of God. The tares were children of the evil one. The enemy was Satan. The harvest was the end of the age. The reapers were angels. This parable revealed that evil and good would coexist until judgment. God was patient, but justice would come. Jesus then spoke of a mustard seed, so tiny it could barely be held between two fingers. But when planted, it grew into the largest of garden plants, becoming a tree where birds nested. Jesus said, the kingdom started small with highs. One message, one man, one cross, one empty tomb. Yet it would spread across nations, cultures, and centuries. Then Jesus told the parable of the woman with yeast. A woman mixed yeast into 60 pounds of flour until it worked through all the dough. The kingdom, Jesus said, often worked invisibly, quietly transforming everything it touched. Then, Jesus told two short but powerful parables. 1. Hidden treasure. A man found treasure buried in a field. In joy, he sold everything he had and bought the field. 2. Pearl of great price. A merchant found a pearl so valuable that he sold all his possessions to own it. To Jesus, the kingdom was worth more than comfort, more than possessions, more than reputation, more than everything combined. Then Jesus ended with fishermen, something Galilee understood well. A net was thrown into the sea and caught all kinds of fish. But at the shore, the fishermen sorted, the good into containers, the bad thrown away. So it would be at the end of the age, angels separating the righteous from the wicked. The kingdom was not just comfort and blessing, it was accountability, destiny, eternal reality. Then Jesus said the kingdom was like a master of a house, bringing out treasures new and old, meaning God was fulfilling the Old Testament while unveiling new truths through Christ. He was making all things clear, all things new, all things complete. After teaching these parables, Jesus returned to his hometown Nazareth. He taught in the synagogue. The people were amazed, but offended. "Isn't this the carpenter's son? Don't we know his family? Where did he get this wisdom?" And because of their unbelief, Jesus did not do many miracles there. The chapter ended with a warning. Familiarity without faith breeds spiritual blindness. Here are some lessons we can learn from Matthew 13. Here are the deep truths Jesus meant to reveal. 1. Your heart determines your harvest. The seed is always powerful, but the soil is what decides the fruit. 2. Good and evil coexist. For now, God's patience is grace, not weakness. 3. The kingdom grows from small beginnings. Never underestimate what God plants. 4. God's work is often invisible at first. Like yeast, the kingdom transforms from the inside out. 5. The kingdom is priceless. It is worth sacrificing everything to gain Christ. 6. Judgment is real and inevitable. The net will one day be pulled in. 7. Faith opens the door. Familiarity can close it. Nazareth saw Jesus with their eyes, but not with their hearts. Matthew 13 was not just a chapter, it was a revelation, a window into heaven, a call to examine our hearts, a warning, a promise, an invitation. Jesus spoke in stories, but he revealed eternity. May we be those who hear, truly hears and understand,